In today's Cooking Corner, we're in the kitchen with Market District Chef Ben D'Amico, and Ben's brought us all of these beautiful artisan tomatoes to show us how to use them in several spring dishes. Good morning.
That's right. Good morning. So it's right after Easter and it's early spring, but you know what? Tomatoes are in season. You wouldn't think that locally they're not until, you know, later in the season.
Right.
Start planting in April and May, getting your gardens ready. But these actually are some new varieties of tomatoes that are available year-round because they're grown in California, Florida, different parts of the United States, where it's always warm. So the growing season and the consistency is always there.
Fantastic. And so what are we making first? So
we're going to make 3 dishes using these. First one is going to be a tomato and onion salad. Very simple. A lot of times tomato goes with cheese, mozzarella. I have a caprese salad, a burrata. Those are typical. People think tomatoes, mozzarella, and it does go really well with the basil. We're going to do a little spin on it where we're going to do a very easy tomato onion salad. So we're going to start with some very thinly shaved sweet onions.
Okay.
And the key here is to shave them very thin because you don't want to bite into a big hunk of onion.
No.
And I have some white.
No one else wants you to bite.
No one else wants you to bite into that either. So we're going to create a nice little base. And these are all going to be very easy dishes today for really good spring entertaining. Followed by, these are some of the Campari tomatoes. So this is this right over here.
Okay.
It is a very sweet tomato. It's a small, like a big grape tomato, a big cherry, and it's wonderful, and it's very, very consistent.
And we were talking before about mealiness. How do you know if a tomato is going to be mealy or not?
So you really can't tell. It's more about the way they're grown. So these tomatoes here, the smaller ones, the cherries, the Campari, they're very consistent. They're not mealy. The hydroponics, the stuff that's grown in the water, tend to be a little more mealy. They're consistent and grown year-round, though, so it's still a good tomato, but you might hit a little bit of mealiness on those more consistent than you would some of the others.
Okay, so you're laying another
We're going to lay another round of tomatoes. Again, this is a very easy dish. We're going to do a little bit of salt and pepper. I say if you have good product and we have fresh onions, we have really nice tomatoes, you really don't need to do a whole bunch to it. So we can have our onions, a little salt and pepper. We're going to use some good olive oil. And that's the thing, when you're using good products, you want to use a good olive oil. So not to say that other oils aren't good, but you don't want to use a canola or vegetable oil. You want to use something that has a lot of flavor, just like a wine. If you cook with a wine, you make sure it's something you want to drink. Don't just go for the cheapest thing.
The cheap stuff,
so you kind of do the same thing with
and this is a full-bodied olive oil. This is not light.
This is a very much, you're going to taste the flavor of the olives and the acidity. And here we have a little bit of a Market District balsamic glaze just to enhance the sweetness.
Ooh, that looks good.
The tomatoes are acidic. They're very acidic on their own, so you really don't want to add any more vinegar mostly to them. This is a sweeter vinegar. The oil is going to bring that fattiness to it. And then we're going to top it with
And you've already done the hard work by putting it in a bottle, making it a glaze.
Absolutely, and it's very delicious. So there's a very nice, again, great for brunch, great for spring, great for summer, year-round.
And so easy to do.
Very easy to do.
Lovely.
So we're going to move on to our next dish, which uses these are mini San Marzano tomatoes. So kind of like a grape tomato, but you can see the body's a little differently shaped. And thinking spring, asparagus is very much in season.
My husband loves asparagus.
So we're going to do a very simple tortellini asparagus and San Marzano tomato salad.
Okay. Now the asparagus, what did you do to it beforehand?
You blanched it.
Okay.
So it's just boiling water, 2 to 3 minutes, cut up into smaller pieces, into little bite-sized pieces, and pull it into chilled water. Cold ice water, blanch it, shocks it, keeps that color nice and vibrant.
Right.
And that's all you need to do to it. So we have a nice bowl, and we're going to put in our cooked tortellini. So I cook this chilled, just toss it with a little bit of olive oil, our San Marzano tomatoes. And the nice thing about all these recipes, it's 1 bag or 1 pack. So all the recipes that are on the website are very much...
So it's not, it's
not like you need a pound of this and weigh everything out. Just grab a bag, and you are good to go.
That's always good, because I hate waste. And so when you're using...
Absolutely.
You know what always gets me? When something calls for like 1 stalk of celery. Now what am I going to do with the rest of it?
Right. Eat it with blue cheese and chicken wings.
Yeah.
So here we have our 3 ingredients. We're going to add some feta cheese.
Okay.
You can use mozzarella, but feta actually goes really well with tomatoes, is my preference. That's a pack of feta cheese. And then here I have some fresh basil just to mix in. And if you can toss that for me, I'm going to add in, again, we're going to add in some olive oil. And this is really the simple dressing. The tomatoes and some of the products will start to break down. You have the bite from the asparagus. And here we're just going to add in some black pepper.
Oh, this would be a huge hit.
And a little bit of sea salt.
Looks good.
There you have it. It's nice, bright, and colorful. You can garnish it with a nice little piece of basil and extra little bit of cheese. But again, very simple, very spring. Very this time of year, great that tomato brightness is coming out.
I'm excited for the next dish.
All right, the next one. So we're going to make Bloody Mary salsa.
And you're going to let me make it.
I'm going to make it, yes. You're going to help me make this. So
although I'm glad you did the dicing for me ahead of time. That makes it a little easier.
So this is, it's a reconstructed Bloody Mary. It's all the typical ingredients you find in there, but it actually works as salsa. So it's great with chips and bread, or the nice thing is you can also puree this at the end and drink it. So it is just like a Bloody Mary.
Dual purposes.
We're going to start with some tomatoes. These are, again, the Campari tomatoes.
Okay.
Very sweet tomato.
All right. Put those in there.
And then we're going to add in onion, about a half a cup of onion, diced sweet onion.
Okay, sweet.
Yep.
I was going to ask you.
And it's, you usually don't find that much in the Bloody Mary drink, but it does really
Should
well
I
for
put
the
the whole
salsa.
thing in?
Yes. Yep,
okay,
you
good.
should, yeah. Next is going to be celery.
All right, there's your one stalk of celery.
Two stalks of celery. Okay. 2 stalks of celery this time. And then here we have some jalapeno.
Ooh, spice it up.
A little bit of spice.
Okay.
And then we're going to add in horseradish. Here, I'll give you a little.
Should I put all of this in?
Yes, all of it.
I'm all about it.
It doesn't come out as much. That's about a tablespoon. It's not as potent as you think once it all kind of blends together. And then we're going to add in some lemon and lime juice.
Oh.
So some people like their Bloody Marys and salsas with lime juice, some like with lemon juice. And here I'm going to add in some salt as you mix that, and some pepper, just as you would on a Bloody Mary.
You know, they're making fancy Bloody Marys now with like bacon and salami.
All the garnishes and
right,
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
maybe you serve this on the side.
This would be a great one. Actually, if you put that in the glass, it gets that chunkiness. So if you use a bottled Bloody Mary, that's the smoothest. This adds that nice little chunkiness. It'll still go through a straw. A couple squirts of Worcestershire.
Great.
And this is a local hot sauce. I like it because it has a lot of black pepper in it.
What is that one?
It's Kenyan. It's made in West Virginia.
Oh, cool.
And this actually goes really well. You can use any kind of hot sauce. You don't want to use a buffalo-style sauce. You want to use something that's definitely more
I like how you weren't afraid of that.
Yeah, no, you want to add in, and this actually you want to let it sit for about an hour before, but it is good to go now. And I got a little fork over there if you care to give it a try.
Can I try it with a piece of bread?
Oh, please, yes.
Okay. And while I'm taking a bite and will not be able to talk, why don't you tell us about your newsletter?
Sure. So this month's newsletter is all about tomatoes and local spring items. So there's a whole page in the back here that kind of walks you through all the tomatoes. You'll find this at all the Market District stores. With all the varieties. Again,
That's
the 5
delicious.
new ones we have a Campari, we have a Rebel Mix, which has all the little cool different flavors and textures, a really nice cherry tomato, just a great cherry tomato, a Cabernet tomato, which has this beautiful red color, and our mini San Marzanos.
So good. That is really good. I thought it might be too much celery, but it's not.
No, it comes
perfect.
through. Yeah, it's a nice balance.
Balanced.
Perfect.
Thank you, Chef
Thank you
Ben.
very much.
Always good to have you here. And for a copy of today's recipes, you can go to kdka.com/PTL. And we want to thank Ben for sharing it with us here. And thanks to the Market District for sponsoring the Cooking Corner every other Tuesday here on PTL.